Oh, wait.
All right, well,
There, go, go,
the
go.
recording started. One, two, three.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Traveling with Francoise. I am Francoise Rhodes, your host. Well, you missed a heck of a first hour on Live What's Happening in Coachella Valley with my co-host, Craig Campbell. We had a lot of fun. We talked about all sorts of events and kind of gave away. You're going to have a chance to win as well here on the show. But now it's time for me to switch gears and go into travel mode. So I want to thank Swiss Donuts on the corner of Country Club in Monterey for donuts for our guest. I want to thank Sean Eckerman, no, that would be an AKA, formerly Sean Flanagan, who is Sean behind the board. Well, you said it in the beginning, so he made a big life change, and yes, now he's a whole new person. I guess I don't know. It's kind of like getting married and changing your name, but you didn't do that. So anyway, congratulations to you! Yay! We have Philip in the house. Philip Carrillo, is that right? Carrillo. I am so bad with names, all of you know out there, because I try so hard to say them correctly because of Francoise. I know people who have botched my name terribly. So, and I let it go. But when I get other people's names, I try to say it correctly. So anyway, Philip is in the house. So we have a guest as well. We have Anthony with us. He is looking at all the stuff that Sean's doing. So in case Sean actually wants to go away somewhere for a weekend. Yeah, we don't get to go away for a weekend, but Sean might get to go. And Anthony hopefully can step in and take over and help us out. So, all right, in the world of travel, there is a lot going on. But our guest today will be Kathy Strong. You know her from her long-running article in the Desert Sun, Going My Way, travel article. She also recently published a book. She's published several books, several travel books, and a new one came out, and I have a quote in there about Borrego Springs, and so she should be joining us in just a little bit. But before we go any farther, I want to thank all the sponsors of Traveling with Francoise. Without you, wouldn't be here, like Thai Smile, Animal Samaritans, Cabot, Borrego Springs Resort, ACT Tours, Dana Wharf, Command One Security, A1 Custom Golf Cars, Diane Williams and Associates, Ty Smile. Thank you all for being part of the show, because without you, we wouldn't be here. So if you'd like to be an advertiser and you see your name run across the bottom on both the shows, Live What's Happening Coachella Valley and Traveling with Francoise, just go to either site, have our contact information on there. On Traveling with Francoise, you can get in touch with me, Craig Campbell, on CoachellaValley.com, and we will help you out. So we want to, again, thank all of our sponsors. And again, Swiss Donuts for giving the donuts for our guests, which frankly, I think all of us eat before the guests get here, but that's okay. Now, if you would like a chance to win passes for two, Palm Springs Aerial Tramway. Yes, you just need to make a comment in the comment section, and then we pick a winner after a couple of days, because the show takes on a life of its own. You just need to comment, what is your favorite food truck food? What is your favorite food truck food? Put that in the comments, and we will pick a winner, and you will know. So, and Philip actually today is looking at the comments. I was looking at the show last week, and I saw myself looking down at the phone over and over and over, and I do not like that. I can do it when Craig's talking in the first show, but I can't do it to you when I'm talking. So you just make your comments, and Philip will let me know if there's anything that I really need to address pronto. But if you want to be entered in the contest for 2 passes to the Palm Springs Aerial Tramway, it's simple. Just tell us what your favorite food truck food is. All right. Okay. Thanks so much. All right. In the world of travel, what is going on? Well, frequent flyers beware. Los Angeles International Airport will soon ban ride-hailing companies from picking up passengers outside of terminals. Yes, you will no longer be able to be picked up starting October 29th. They say travelers looking to hop on an Uber or Lyft will be taken to a different parking lot. They say it was just becoming so congested that they had to do something. So the Lyft, the ride sharing will be able to drop you off. Uber and Lyft can drop you off, but they will not be able to pick you up starting October 29th. So keep that in mind. They said at LAX, the passenger volume increased from 63.7 million in 2012 to 87.5 million passengers in 2018. So that is a huge growth there. So remember, you will not be able to get picked up outside the terminals at LAX as of October 29th. Also in the news, Saudi Arabia unveils new tourist visas. This one, a multiple entry visa scheme, allows for stays up to 90 days at a time and marks the first time the country is allowing foreigners to visit solely for the purpose of tourism. So there's a lot of changes out there. And also there's a new ID, the Real ID directive coming out. U.S. travel study found that 57% of Americans do not know about this. That starts October 1st, 2020. Kathy Strong is in the house. You know about this, Kathy? We're getting a little bit about it. Yeah, we need to talk because people are like in denial. They're looking at their California licenses and they're going to wait till the last minute. They say the deadline, of course, is October 1st, 2020. 72% of Americans do not have a Real ID compliant driver's license or are unsure if they do, and that 39% lack an alternative ID that would allow them to board a flight. Would that not be terrible just to be trying to board and they say, no, no, you can't get on? That would be awful. So we'll talk more about this as it comes. I know I have my passport, but I know my California driver's license actually expires next year, so we'll see. I probably have to go in and get it. Maybe they'll just send me the right one, as they've been sending me for the last 20 years. So they didn't send? No, she's shaking her head. No, I have this picture on there. Actually, I need a new picture. I look at that picture and say, In fact, sometimes they look at the picture and look at me and say, oh, well, your hair's a little different, isn't it? So, yeah, it's probably time I get a new picture. Okay, Alaska Airlines ending reciprocal point redemption starting March 1st. American Airlines customers won't be able to use their points to book Alaska flights and vice versa. And American Express and Delta are revamping their Sky Miles card. The partners will roll out redesigned versions of all 7 Sky Miles personal and small and mid-size business cards. And here's something else going on in the world of travel that we are all going to be very, very thankful for. A new bipartisan legislation aimed at cracking down on deceptive resort fees has been introduced to Congress. Can we get a clapping or something with that one? That is so the Hotel Advertising Transparency Act of 2019 would require hotels and other short-term lodging providers to display the full pre-tax price to consumers. Now, you know, in Las Vegas, those resort fees are up to like $45 and more. It's crazy out there. It said it's projected that in 2019, over $3 billion in revenue alone will be collected from consumers due to hidden fees. It's just terrible because how many times do I travel and I don't have time to use the pool or any of these other amenities that I'm paying for? I mean, maybe they can come up with another key that you get when you pay the resort fee that you get in there. I don't know, but it's just, well, that's true. Or, yeah. But they're trying to charge you for all these things, Sean, that a lot of people don't have time to use. And yes, a lot of them do use. So I don't know. But yes, the hidden fees. Who was I talking to? I was just talking to someone the other day. They went on a trip. They stayed at a moderately priced hotel, and it was something more in the $70 range. They just wanted a nice, clean room. By the time they actually checked in and filled out the paperwork, it was up to over $100. And that's hard. These families that are traveling, that is so hard. So we'll see what this legislation does. We will all fight for it. HR 4489. So keep that. I'm going to keep that so we can talk about it as it goes along and see how things progress. Another heads up I want to give you before we have our guest on, which cell phone company is best for traveling? Well, every company now offers an international plan, but it varies wildly, and it really depends not just on how many days you'll be traveling on one trip, but how many trips each year you might be taking. So AT&T offers a day pass for only $10, which includes unlimited calls to more than 100 countries, unlimited text, and access to your data. Verizon plan covers more than 185 countries, and its travel pass only charges you for usage abroad. So if you're in and out of the country a lot, there's no need to call the phone company every time you need to add or remove it. For frequent travelers, T-Mobile has a very wide coverage with more than 200 countries in its plan. T-Mobile even has a plan that offers unlimited Wi-Fi on your flight for as low as $73 a month. And Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile now even offer cruise ship deals and can be and can represent serious savings when you're out at sea. But I am noticing that a lot of the cruise ships now are throwing in free Wi-Fi. So they are adding that to the mix to entice you to go on their line. So check that out before you buy into a program that you might not need. So check out where you're going and what's offered to you before you step into that and start paying for these fees. And frankly, I'm a Verizon user, and I use it on purpose because it seems like when I am traveling, that when everybody else has nothing, I have something with Verizon. Yeah, Sean, you're nodding your head. It's just I've traveled with some people with AT&T, and I'm not knocking them, but we'll be out in the middle of nowhere, and they have nothing, and I have a signal. So for me, yeah, right. We do pay probably a little more. It is more expensive, but for me, I have that comfort of knowing that I can call back and check in on my mother or whatever and not worry too much about it. So that's what I use. Yeah, definitely you're right. Definitely pay for it, but that's what you got to do sometimes. All right, Borrego Springs, Borrego Days Festival, 54th annual events coming up October 18th through 20th. We will be there, but you might want to book your room now at the Borrego Springs Resort and Spa, so take advantage of that. Also, whale watching is going on, Dana Wharf Whale Watching. ACT Tours, I will be escorting the Lake Powell trip at the end of this month. Last I heard, they had 6 seats left on the bus. We have a big bus. We're going to go to the Grand Canyon. We're going to go to Balloon Festival, Lake Powell, and spend one night in Vegas. So call ACT Tours for more information and get your seat on that bus. It is $5.95 per person. Really good deal, and we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm planning some things. Yeah. All right. And if you want to know more about ACT Tours and all that they have coming up, you can go to their website, act-tours.com. Now, we are going to I think we should just have Kathy come on over and sit down. I have water for you. We're all ready. Come on over. Sean, remind me to do the travel photo of the week, please, at the end of the show. Kathy, you have to remind me also. Yeah. So you remind me. All right, have a seat, get comfortable. It's been a while since you have been on the air.
I know. Well,
Here
yeah.
it's never been. Yeah, there's never been. Oh, and you have your book, and
I brought you a copy.
thank you. I want to introduce everyone to Kathy Strong. Yes. Many of you know Kathy from How long did you write, and talk right into the mic here? Just want to get a little bit closer there. How long did you write for the Desert Sun?
Well, actually, for about 20 years.
You're going my way.
No, Going My Way was 10 years.
Okay.
So I did travel the whole time.
Right.
But Going My Way, the column, was just 10 years. But that's a long time.
That's a long time. That is a long time.
But I started writing a travel feature for what is now Desert Magazine, which was Next Magazine. I was there for the renaming of it and then later as editor of it. But I always wrote their travel every month. So I started there.
And you have been, and I always, when I talk to people, because everyone has their own story about what inspired them to travel.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure what mine is. I just know after I started, then I couldn't get enough. And my mother has always been one she speaks 8 different languages. She's traveled the world. But
she inspired you.
She did inspire me in her own way, I guess. But for me, I just love to go far and near. So where do you think that came from in your life? What was that one thing that you remember that you just loved so much you wanted to do more?
Well, I have to tell you, my story's really different because my parents never went anywhere. Mm-hmm. Well, we went up to Mammoth Lakes or something, but, they weren't big travelers. And I grew up in a small town. Well, it was small then, Thousand Oaks. It was very rural, very small. And I always had this longing to see more. And I think that's the journalist part of me, the curiosity. Mm-hmm. So I love what you're doing with Art and Artifacts America, with small towns, because that's my passion.
There's something about them. They each have a life of their own and a story. Stories behind them.
And I don't know about you, but when I go on press trips or I go on my own travels, and I get to a town or an area, a suburb, I look at the people and I look at the houses and what would it be like to live here? I always wonder what life is like there. So I think it's a journalist's curiosity for me more than anything. I went to Europe before I'd ever gone on a big trip anywhere.
Well,
I went to Europe for a month.
That's a big trip.
When it was back in the days. Some of your viewers will understand Europe on $5 a day.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's on $50 a day if you're really lucky. I don't think you can even do it. But I went with a friend. We camped part of the way. We just went for a month, and we went wherever we wanted to go. And that did it. That was it for me. And then I did the Caribbean, which later, 10 years later, I wrote a book on the Caribbean. But had so little money on these trips that it was just, I really did it the authentic way, which, by the way, is the way people want to travel now, authentically.
They do. And it's a different world out there
It is.
than back then, because I remember we spent a couple months in Europe, and we went to Jamaica for over a month or so, and lived up in this place called the Bird Cage.
Yes.
And I think we've had that same experience that if you're nice to people, they are so nice back. If you genuinely try to speak their language and just respect that you're in their country, don't go with that, that attitude that some Americans have. They want to take America everywhere. That's not the point of even traveling. The point is to experience what's there.
Exactly. They're missing out. They're really missing out when they do that. And I'll never forget that trip to the Caribbean, especially. We had sort of run out of money by the time we got to Puerto Rico, and had a wonderful time exploring on buses everywhere. And I said, I want to go to an island that's not quite as touristy, quite as well known. So it was Tortola in the British Virgin Islands, and they had a boat that took you over. So we took the boat over and got there. And there was no town. There was nothing there. And we said, okay, what now?
Yeah.
And we started hitchhiking, which is something I had never done. And this American station wagon pulled over, came over the side and said, what do you think you're doing? And we said, well, we really wanted to see Tortola, and we're kind of we don't have a lot of money left. We're not really sure how to get anywhere. She said, crawl in. She owned an inn. She put us up for a week. She and her husband had barbecues every night. They took us to a different beach every day. And when I got my contract to write Recommended Island Inns, I called her first and said, guess what? That little girl you picked up hitchhiking, I'm doing a book, and I want to make sure your inn is in it.
Oh, that's great. How many books have you written?
This is my 7th title, Secret Southern California, and I've done many editions of them. So probably it's my 21st book. 21st book. A lot of people don't know I even wrote travel books, but I started writing them first. It was kind of a reverse for what a lot of travel writers do. They'll start off with maybe newspaper, and then go to magazines, and then go to books. Yeah. I started with books, then went to magazines, then went to newspaper.
And you found the others a breeze after writing a book, because you have to have so much focus, and they don't realize how much time writing a book. You bury yourself in that book. I mean, you have to.
You really do. But I have to tell you, this last one is the first one I self-published.
Well, let's see this one. We can hold it up to the camera here. Secret
Southern California,
a guide to unique places. And we do have a lot of unique places.
Oh my goodness, yes.
California.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about this book.
Well, this book kind of generated from my favorite book that I ever did, which was Southern California Off the Beaten Path, because you and I love to find those little secret things and finds. And I thought, if I'm going to do one myself, this time I'm going to do it just the way I want it, and I can get other people involved in giving me their secrets. It's one to have my advice, but you're in it.
I am in it.
And you gave me, you're right where the bookmark is, actually, and that's your book.
Yeah.
But, it's so wonderful to have collaborated with other people who are professionals in the business, such as yourself, and people who actually live in areas and know it well, to give me some of their favorite things. And it made it a little harder project than just doing it on my own,
Right.
but so much more enriching for me personally.
Well,
I
you
just
had
loved
how
it.
many different tips? How many different writers?
50.
You have 50 people that have given their tips in here.
Yes.
And try to round up those 50 people. Because I think she had the email. Kathy emailed me twice saying, Francoise,
It's
are you
hard.
doing this? What do you know? You didn't do
Yeah.
it like you were really cute.
But-
She said, what do you got? And I'm always, I don't know why, I get a little shy when it comes to things like that. And I think, oh, really? So I'm quite honored. Thank you.
I couldn't imagine doing it without one of your secrets involved. And I like the idea of secrets because for some people, these will be, you'll go through it and a lot of it will be very obvious to you because you're a traveler. But to a lot of people, they have told me, and it's been wonderful, that, oh, I didn't know that was there. I do concentrate on the backstory, the history of things, which I know you do as well. That's what makes it come alive for me.
And I agree because we can see what's around us now,
Yeah.
but I'm always fascinated how the people lived before. We see these black and white photos
know.
and some of it looks so hard, but yet that's their world and that's all they know. It's-
That's how they've always lived,
Right.
and that is what they know. And to step outside of that and look in, it's so rewarding. And so I've really enjoyed this book. I'm getting a good reaction, and I'm doing the marketing myself. So this time I'm going in front of groups, and I was at the Route 66 panel discussion yesterday with some other authors, and we did a signing, and the exhibit at the Santa Monica History Museum is fabulous.
Oh, okay.
You need
There's
to go.
a tip right there.
Need to go.
Right there. Secret Southern California, A Guide to Unique Places. How do they find it?
Yeah, Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah,
Okay.
on Amazon. Target has it.
I will
Some
put the link
bookstores will carry it, but
on Traveling with Francoise.
I would love
will
that.
put the link on there
I would
so people
love
can
that.
find it.
I actually brought a book that if you want to do a giveaway with, it's yours to do.
Thank you. We will
totally
do that.
up to
No,
you.
definitely.
Totally
This is
up
going
to
to
you.
be, and I will tell you guys next week on the travel show how you can sign up to win this. This is not going to be. You're going to have to go and sign up to win one of these. People are like it's interesting, Kathy, because they keep telling us how books are going out of style. Books are going well, not really anymore. They're finding that people are going back to wanting to read books again. I
They
love
are.
holding a book. I love looking through it. I love going back to pages, and
I know.
and I'm a real reader. And to me, online is fine, but there's nothing like a book.
You and I both have websites, and I know that there is a need for that. There's immediate information you can
Yes.
put up. You can change content if you need to do that. But to me, a book is
A book, and when you're traveling, you get into one of these areas where there is no internet, and you have
Yeah.
your book in the car with you.
Exactly.
On your map or whatever, you go
Yeah.
right to it, and you don't have to worry about it. Well,
I
you
agree.
brought up the internet as well, and folks, with us is Kathy Strong. She's been writing travel books. Excuse me, for the newspaper and magazines, basically almost all of your adult life. She
40 years,
40 years.
yeah.
She loves to travel. Like I said, we've met in passing at different levels. So, oh, hi, oh, you're here too now. And it's kind of funny. It's cute to see someone from your own area. No, it's rewarding. But you also recently launched a website.
I did.
And I know how much work is involved in a web.
God.
I want to say why, but we won't go into why that you even did that. But you obviously had something you wanted to try, so you did it. And it's a beautiful website. Tell us what it is.
Well, I didn't want to. I'll be
you
right.
didn't want to. Oh, I thought this
I
was
was-
some sort of dream.
It was never a dream.
Oh, okay.
If you'd asked me 5 years ago, I would have said, no, never,
No.
not for me. But I have to tell you, I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
It really wasn't something I had planned to do. And everyone kept saying, why aren't you? Why don't you have, why don't you have a blog? Why don't you have I don't even like the word blog that much, I'll be honest with you.
yeah,
But,
it's
and I don't really think mine is as much because I have other writers who have their stories and features on there. But I like to think of it in my mind as a online travel magazine.
okay.
But it is constantly fluid and changing, and new content's always up there, and we're pushing out new content.
Yep.
It's international, although obviously I'm sort of partial to the Western states since I've written all my books except for the Caribbean on it. But I do cover the whole world. And
what's
that's
the
been
name of this
fun.
website?
It's called PS Wish You Were Here Travel.com.
Now, when I see that. Being from Palm Springs, and I bet you get that from all of us, I always think of it as Palm Springs. I wish you
Sure.
were here.
Yeah.
But is that what you meant, or you meant
No.
like the P.S. at the end of a
No,
letter?
P.S. at the end, yeah.
And I thought, okay,
P.S.
she wants
Wish
something.
you were here. It was, used on postcards, like
Okay,
postscript.
right, yep.
It means postscript, not Palm Springs. Wish you were here. But it could have a double meaning since I live here.
Yeah,
I
do
mean,
you
why
get that
not?
from others, though?
I
You
do.
do,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're not the only one to say that. But I am enjoying it now. It's taken me a while to get used to the idea and like you said, how to set it up, what to do. It's growing. It's getting more interesting for me every day.
All these things have a life of their own. That's what I
They
say
do.
about this show. We have been working on it now for about a month and a half, and we are certainly have our growing pains as far as technology goes.
Yes.
But we do record the show, so if there's a problem, we can go back and put it on that way.
Yes.
But the live component is very exciting and fun for us to get the comments from people and whatnot. But doing all these things, like the website and the writing, they all take on lives of their own, and which really
do.
in this world is kind of incredible. And
It
that goes back to
is.
the internet.
It really does. I mean, we would have never thought this. And social media plays such a big role in all of these things too now. I mean, you can put it up there, but nobody knows it's there if you don't push it out through social media.
Right. You have
Yeah.
to find those channels to push it. So
do.
since you are a travel writer, and I don't ever like it when people ask me where my favorite place is, because frankly, I'm sure you would answer like me, everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I don't have
Yeah.
a favorite because
Yeah.
there's always something new and unique at each one.
Yeah.
However, I would like you to give our viewers and listeners a travel tip, something that just pops into your mind that you do on a regular basis, that when you think about it, you share it with people, they go, oh, why didn't I think of that?
Oh, well, it's not really my tip. I've stolen it from somebody.
Okay.
But
It's okay.
recently I read that somebody said, and people don't do this anymore, but they're there. Postcards are there.
Uh-huh.
They pick up a postcard everywhere they go, and they write what they did that day, and they send it back to themselves.
That is very clever.
And I love that idea. And I've even thought that could make a fun book.
That's right. Postcards.
Yeah.
That is a great idea.
And I haven't pushed that out yet as an idea because it's really not mine. I stole it. I think all the good ideas we steal from somebody anyway. I'm convinced of that. There's
they
no new
evolve.
idea. Yeah.
Right. We take something and we do something different
Yeah.
with it. They take it. We know Judy, our good
I
friend.
and
She's
I
our
was thinking
postcard
of,
person.
and I was thinking of Judy when I was saying it, but she goes back in and love her dearly. She's about to go off on some
6 weeks.
huge
Yes.
cruise. But she, comes back and then she basically writes a book about it. She keeps thorough diaries, and that exhausts me to think about doing it. Bless her heart, but it's wonderful what she does.
always
and-
sends a postcard.
But we don't always want to do what she does. It's a lot of work, and we
Right.
get back into our day-to-day lives. We may not want to devote that time, but you can easily write a postcard that day and send it back to yourself.
And I think, too, it's fun. Mail, a lot of people, again, they don't get a lot of mail anymore.
Yeah.
But when you get a postcard in the mail from someone traveling,
great.
it's sort of like an Instagram post or a Facebook post, but
know.
it's just come to you. Someone took the time to write that out
Yeah.
and mail it. And it's kind of fun. So think about that.
It's personal.
Something you might want to do on your next trip. So where
I
is
think
your next trip?
so. I knew you were going to ask me that.
Of course. I have to ask everybody that comes on the travel show, where are you going next?
I just got back from Sonoma County.
Oh, beautiful.
And I did I had a wonderful week and a half and toured all over. And I was in LA yesterday, in Santa Monica. And right now I'm getting ready for a whole lot of birthdays and holidays in my family. So I'm not planning. We're going up to Big Bear. So
you go.
that's a closer trip.
Yeah.
But I don't have a big one planned right now immediately, but there will be one soon. Last year this time I was in Paris.
Yeah, but you're like me also. I always say I'm like a dog that gets in a car and hangs my head out the window. I can go by the airport and wonder, where's everybody going?
I know.
We can drive up to the tram, and for us, we make an adventure out of anywhere we go. So we don't always
Everywhere.
have to go far.
No,
Yeah.
in fact, the Route 66 people yesterday, they're the historic foundation. They're wonderful people. There were a whole bunch of them there. We had about 80 people who attended the talk, which was amazing to me. But there were a few people from the foundation, and they're talking about all the things they have coming up that aren't in my book, and I'm thinking, I need to go investigate. So
Another book on
Yeah.
the works.
Yeah.
Well, Kathy, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to have you
Thank
on a little bit
you.
more often
I
because
would
it gets too
love
long
that.
in between.
I would love that.
Kathy's new book is Secret Southern California, A Guide to Unique Places. You can find it on Amazon. We're going to be giving one away next week. I will tell you how you have a chance to win one. Did you autograph these? You
I
have to-
autographed yours.
Oh, definitely have to autograph these.
I will.
Okay.
I
Have
will.
to autograph. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Francois. It was a
And
pleasure.
Congratulations on the book and the
Thank
website and all
you.
sorts of things.
I'm
And
having a great time.
where can they find you on the web again?
P.S. Wish you were here. Travel.
All right.
You have to remember the travel
The
part.
travel part. And I will put that on Traveling with Francoise. Well, just sit
Thank you.
tight
Okay.
because one more little bit of business to do, and that is our photo contest of the week. I'm getting so many submissions now of people sending them in.
Hello.
And this week, Sean, are we ready to go ahead and show that? Okay. This is from Kathleen Bennett.
Oh.
And she was in Michigan, Upper Crooked Lake in Michigan.
Yes, I saw that she was.
There's a picture up there at this lake that it looks like the whole lake is water lilies. It's crazy.
Gorgeous.
It is so beautiful. In the desert, we don't see that very often.
No.
Well, out here in the golf course, there's some water
Yeah,
lilies,
true.
but on that
Yeah.
lake, but not like that. It's beautiful.
Oh.
So if you want your travel photo featured on the show and on Traveling with Francoise website, Facebook page, just send it to me. You can send it to francoiserhodes@gmail.com. And send me your pictures. We're getting a ton of them, and I pick one. It's all about pride. No prize on that one, just prize to get it out there. And we want to thank everybody who are sending their travel photos. And you can be in it. I think people are worried that that I don't want to be in them. That's fine
Yeah.
as well. We want a little bit of everyone. So, Kathy, thanks so much again.
Thank
Kathy
you.
Strong for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Thank all of you out there for joining us. We'll be back next week for more of Live What's Happening in Coachella Valley that starts around 11 a.m. And then I follow up with Traveling with Francoise. I'm not sure what we're doing next week on the show. We'll figure it out then. Have a great one. Go to the website, travelingwithfrancoise.com, for television shows, blogs, this show, the calendar page, everything is on that website. Check it out, Traveling with Francoise. And until next time, remember, it's never too late to get a life. Bye.